Hey guys, I want to get you started with the next project, which is working with Almost Maine, working with the design of that and designing 5 scenes for each for this show. So I know you've been working with SketchUp a little bit and been designing some quite interesting things there in your room. Now we're going to take that knowledge and begin to apply more detail and design to an actual show that we're working on. Let's just get right into it. So what I've done is open up the Almost Maine SketchUp file, and what we're looking at here is the top view ground plan. What I want to do is let me take you through this design a little bit, just very quickly, and what we're going to be working, and then more specifically what we'll be working on, and then how to do that. So what we're looking at on screen here is a top view, bird's eye view plan of the Black Box Theater. And within that, it's I've got one of the scenes laid out. So if you look at it in terms of moving around the perimeter, here is the outside walls of the Black Box Theater. This here is the perimeter catwalk, enclosed by curtains, and then a scenery beginning here. I take my orbit tool and just move that a little bit. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. That it is, you can see the curtains surrounding it, and this is in what's called a wireframe view. It's as if it was drawn with a pen. I'm going to look at changing the style of it just quickly so that we can take a look and see what it looks like with some solids. So what I did, I went to the window up here to styles. Opened up over here, and I've got some default styles to look at. Like I said, right now we're working in this one here, which is the wireframe, and I'm going to just click on this one, and it immediately turns it into a different style. This is another one. That's another style here. And that's another style. You can play with some of these, and they're kind of cool, different things. But what I would like to look at right now is the default style, which shows the walls actually painted black, a surround catwalk, curtained, and then the major piece of scenery that is in Almost Maine is a black curtain that is, we will create a star field and the aurora borealis on. It is always in every scene and is a major portion of the show. We will for this show, we will be using this space for every scene and adding new scenery in for each one of the scenes. Since this is videotaped, we will, in reality, we will physically set up the scene, shoot that scene, move that scene away, and then move in a new scene, and then shoot that scene. We'll probably be shooting 2 different scenes per night, and with teardowns and setups in between. Let's take a look at what every scene kind of looks like right now. What I'm started with here is the prologue. I've got all the scenes along this top row, all of them laid out into what the scene is called, and then a plan view of each one of these scenes. So I can click on it. I've got a view of what that scene is going to look like in front from the point of view of the audience, or in this case the camera. Got a couple of characters in there to give scale, and in every scene I've got in here for us, I've been working with the director in establishing some basic building blocks for us to work with. As in this case, this scene takes place in the open air, sitting on a park bench, and so I've represented that park bench right now as just a chunk of a block. It's bench shape and bench height. Okay. As I'm going through, let's see. So prologue and intermission and epilogue. It's all the same scene. In plan view, that's what it's looking like from the top. Scene 1-1 is her heart. Her heart takes place on a porch, platform, one step up, a doorway, and a surround of the house this guy lives in. A lot of the action of the scene takes place around in the yard here, and his house is an old farmhouse. So we're working with that. Okay, let's just go on plan view of that. You can see from the top, here's that platform, here's the guy, the step, doorway that opens upstage, and then a platform for him to come in on. All right, scene 1, act 1, scene 2 is called Sad and Glad. It takes place in a bar called the Moose Patty. Little dinette seat, back walls. She's coming from the bathroom. A lot of the action for the scene takes place around this little booth. Plan view is from above. You can see the table, the bench, and this is where the wall is. This hurts. It takes place in the laundry room, and in this laundry room there's a doorway, just an open arch doorway with a wall, another wall, a wash machine, a little table, a bench for him to sit, and a place for her to iron her clothes. This is in a boarding house, and two of them are interacting in this little laundry room. Okay. Plan view above. 1-4 is called Getting It Back. Takes place in a living room. This is a couch, coffee table, side table, doorway, and 2 walls. So each one of these scenes has very, very minimal scenery. Conceptually, we're looking at three concept words here that has been very a lot of discussion with the director about this show. One is cold, dark night. No other concept word is romantic love in between people, and then the third one is this sense of the right time consistently. It's a moment in time, where where the action climaxes to the point where in each one of the scenes that people come together, and there's a spark of love. Interesting with each one of these scenes, we want the main focus to be on the actors and the chemistry between the two of them. Not getting lost in the wide amount of full stage scenery or a bunch of major distractions. We want it to really focus on the two actors within their own story in the big picture of the world. And at this point, they're coming together and finding that love come to a decision point. So within each one of these is that there's the idea scenically is that, of course, everything has got a somewhat realistic look to it, kind of magic realistic in many ways. And within that, I'm concentrating on holding the action together, centered around around the people, usually with two walls, sometimes as simple as one, but just taking a chainsaw essentially and cut away everything that is not telling us the major parts of the story for every scene. So it's really simplifying it. But the details that we see within these walls and the couch, it's parts that add character to these characters of the show. It adds distinction and style and who they are, where they are, why they are. So with the details in the couch, with the type of coffee table, the side table, what's on that, the wall treatment, what the walls are made out of, kind of door panel, if there's any art on the wall, what that is. All of that is quite detailed into specifics of what's going on in this man's house and how it is with the two of them interacting with it. So let me get on to plan view of that. All right, They Fell is Act 2, Scene 1. Director and I worked to only thing in the script that this talks about is it take place in a potato field, and director and I talked about having this centered around a pickup truck, tailgate of a pickup truck, two of them out there drinking beer. and like they've done a number of times, and just talking about life, talking about each other, and talking about their relationships. Plan view is the truck in that space. And let's go to 2. Where it went takes place in front of a ice pond. And at this point, they're sitting on a log, just taking off their skates. And log is represented right now by a block. Plan view here. Story of hope takes place in on a porch, and the characters, the relationship that the director really wanted with this character, these two characters, is that this man is smaller than this woman. With the action of the play, he appears much smaller, much different than he was when he was younger, and she really wanted to make that effect happen by having him be able to be not above her in any way, but on the same playing field, and therefore could feel a little bit smaller. Okay. Plan view of that. Again, you see the doorway opening. Seeing the thing takes place on another porch. This is a porch of a cabin of a winterized cabin porch. And within that, it's a step up here onto a porch. Doorway. I cut a hole in here for a window. There's a bench area which they can sit, take off shoes and boots, and hang things up. The one aspect of this is that the script calls for is winterized porch, and they refer to it in the dialogue. Which most winterized porches are an old screen porch that's been they've stapled plastic all over it to keep the weather out, keep it a little bit warmer in there, keep everything from freezing, which causes quite a little challenge if you're trying to see the action that's going on. Because all of this scene takes place, let's see, 95% of it takes place on this porch. So in doing that, again, with kind of stripping things away, but giving credence to the porch, to the winterized porch idea, brought out beams of the house and posts just downstage, so that it has a semblance of what is there. We can so that we can have that feeling that this is a cutaway of a greater porch. Right? Plan view for that. Let's see it. Lastly on this is the floor plan. I've got all of them combined where they actually are sitting within the same space. When we go to shoot the show again, we will put each scene in and shoot it. But each one of these scenes, we want to have it fully dressed, fully detailed, and for each one of these scenes, and each one different, just as the characters are different, and then we'll slip that into space, and have that scene work. Shoot the scene. All right, I'm going to stop here. and then we'll start back again with next video about how to start manipulating some of this. Okay.